Good morning. Last year, I had the opportunity to attend the fundraising banquet for Skyline Urban Ministry. Many of you might be familiar with Skyline, the great work that they do here in the Oklahoma City metro area. Well, I went to this banquet, and the keynote speaker at the banquet was a man by the name of Ron Hall. You might have heard of Ron before. Ron is an author. He's written a few different books now. But one of the books that he wrote, his first book, he wrote with a friend of his named Denver Moore. And the book was called Same Kind of Different as Me. Ron Hall and Denver Moore could not have been more different. Ron's background was as an international art dealer. He'd been incredibly successful in his business. Ron lived in a beautiful home in the Dallas area, drove a nice car, had beautiful clothes. He seemed to have everything at his fingertips. Denver, meanwhile, was eating out of soup kitchens. He was living on the streets. He was homeless. Ron was a white man, Denver a black man. The two of them on the surface couldn't have been any more different. When Ron was serving at a soup kitchen one day, he came across Denver, and that's how they first met. Their relationship didn't get off to the greatest start, but they slowly began to get to know each other over time, as they would come back time and time again. What they discovered over time is that they began to get to know one another. And when at first all they could see were these differences on the surface, they actually had a lot more in common than they realized. They began to learn from each other. They found new respect for each other. They found that they really did love one another, and it turned into a tight friendship that would last for the rest of their lives. He shared this story, and it was incredibly powerful as we listened to him talk about this. But it made me think about how often in our world we treat people who are different from us. How often we come across those who all we can see are the differences that are there on the surface. And we begin to treat each other differently because of that. You know, when you go back to the scriptures, you see time and time again throughout the entire Bible where God tells us how we're supposed to treat those who are different from us, those who think different or look different, those who act different or believe differently. When God tells us in the Old Testament, you remember what it was like to be a foreigner in the land of Egypt. And so now you need to treat the foreigner with respect. You need to welcome the foreigner, to show them love and compassion. You see in the New Testament where Jesus tells us that we're supposed to treat everybody the way that we would want to be treated, the golden rule. Time and time again throughout the scriptures, you find that the message is when we come across those who are different from us, we don't treat them with hatred or negativity. No, we treat them with respect and compassion, kindness. It is really easy to find people who are different from us in our world today. Those who think different, those who hold different views, those who come from different backgrounds or different parts of the world. And it's easy to judge each other based on those surface level details. But I think so often when we begin to take the time to get to know each other, when we take the time to learn about each other's background and families, why we are the way that we are, I think we come to find a new level of compassion and empathy for each other. We find that we can treat each other with a different sense of kindness and respect and love. I think in the end, when we take time to get to know those who are different from us, we might find out that really they're just the same kind of different that we are. I hope you have a great day.